The new variant of COVID-19 has emerged. It's a cross between Omicron BA.1 and Omicron BA.2. Here to tell us more is Norman Swan, the host of the Health Report on RN and of the Coronacast podcast. Hi, Norman.
Hi, Rod.
Is it actually a new variant or something else?
Yeah, look, yes, you can call it a new variant. Whether it's a variant of concern or a variant of interest, it's a new variant. New variants are emerging all the time. And effectively, there's two ways for a new variant to emerge. So a subvariant, look, it's almost pointless, actually, talking about subvariants versus variants. But essentially, there's two ways for a new version of the virus to appear. One is mutation. So most of the variants we've had up till now, they're inside your body, they're multiplying, they make mistakes genetically as they're multiplying. Most of these mistakes don't mean anything, but occasionally there's a mistake which makes the virus more contagious. And then it spins off and becomes a variant of interest or a variant of concern. There's another way that it can happen. The coronavirus is actually quite a promiscuous virus. It likes getting together with other viruses and exchanging genetic material with other viruses. That's probably what happened in a bat in 2019. But it potentially could do, coronaviruses are notorious for doing that. So you might have heard of Deltacron. That was where somebody probably had co-infection with Delta and Omicron. The Delta and Omicron viruses got together and produced a new virus, which was a combination of the two. And this one is somebody's been infected with BA.1 and BA.2 at the same time. They've got together and produced a new one. Whether it's a worry or not, some people say it's slightly more contagious, but it's been around since January or maybe before that, and it hasn't taken over yet. Doesn't mean to say it won't, but at the moment they're just watching and seeing how it goes. Right. But Chinese scientists about 2 weeks ago wrote a really interesting paper on this issue of recombination. And they think this is the biggest threat moving forward, particularly if the coronavirus, if SARS-CoV-2 goes into an animal species, infects the animal, exchanges genes with an animal virus, which we've got no experience of, and then comes back out again. That's the worry moving forward.
You know, we think we're getting a handle on it, and then something else crops up.
That's why the relaxation of surveillance around the world, letting it rip, thinking it's over. Yeah. We can understand why people are fed up, but we're vulnerable if a bad one comes along. We'll talk about the situation in the UK in just a moment, but first, fourth booster dose is now available to some people. How important is it for those groups of people to get that fourth jab? So over 65s, the immunity has waned a fair bit by the time you've got to 4 or 5 months out, and it's worth having. I don't think there's much debate over that it really is worth having. The Israeli data are really good on this, that it protects you against infection for a few weeks, not hugely, but it does give you some protection, and really boosts your immunity to severe disease. Should we all have it at some point then, the fourth dose? Well, Professor Ryan McIntyre was arguing that over 50s should have it, because that's when your immune system starts to wane, and that's what the Americans have done. And I think what will happen is that it will creep down in age as time goes on. You spoke about this lack of surveillance around the world. The UK in particular is one place where there are very few restrictions now, aren't there? There are very few restrictions. 4.4 or 5 million people have got Omicron, and they're shutting down surveillance, basically, to cut costs. Denmark's done the same thing. And the problem here is that we haven't learned about this from this pandemic. We're not doing very much about ventilation, and the British surveillance system was really good, and we learned from it here, as did the Americans. With it shutting down, we're going to be caught, I hope not, but we could be caught on one foot when a new variant appears, and we wonder where it came from, because we've got to do global surveillance around the world, well, that's what global means, including animals, to actually see what viruses are circulating so we're not mugged by reality.